Welcome to the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. Kent Brown and George Contreras here from Ventura High School, and we are kicking off another season here from the county. And George, we're excited. It's August, so it's week 0. We're shaping up for what should be a fun season. And for both of these teams, last year for Ventura, 2-8, 2-3 in the Pacific View League. But this is a team now, a lot of experience comes back. A bunch of players that played last year were able to go through those growing pains. All of a sudden, they're now the key seniors and juniors on a team that went from inexperienced in 2018 to what should be a very experienced squad in 2019.
Yeah, I know, talking with Coach Garcia the other day, he's very excited. His senior leadership is top-notch. And what he really likes is that his young kids, his juniors and a few sophomores that are up on the varsity, they've come in with a very fired-up attitude and kind of an attitude of, I don't care if you are a senior, I'm going to take that job from you, which has created some great competition for them in practices. So he is very, very excited for the start of the season. On the flip side, Coach Hardy, Aaron Hardy, is his first year as a head coach at Royal, first year as a head coach, period, after serving as an assistant at Camarillo and Moore Park and Newbury Park as well. So it should be an exciting night. It's a beautiful night for football. Here right on the ocean view up here at the top of this stadium is probably the best view there is in all the county to watch a game. And again, everybody's excited. It's the start of the school year. These people have now been in school for a couple days in the case of Ventura and for about a week for Royal. So the year has started and football's here, and it's exciting to be around this kind of an atmosphere.
And then for Royal, we mentioned about last year, they started off 1-5, but those were some challenging out-of-league games. Then they got in league play in the Canyon League, undefeated, got to the playoffs, lost in the first round. But now it's a new coach, but a team that expects to win, and it starts off with the running game led by the senior running back, Gabe Landless.
Yeah, Landless, according to Coach Hardy, has been just an animal inside the weight room. He's put on 20 pounds since last year, and he was a darn good running back last year. So it's going to be interesting to see him play. He's considered to be a very quiet leader, not a vocal kind of guy. But the other key guy in the turnaround last year was their quarterback, Tanner Wolf, who's back this year. He was a transfer from Oaks Christian, so he had to sit out the first half of the season. And I don't think it's any coincidence that the winning started when he was finally eligible and could play those last 5 or 6 games of the regular season on into the playoffs.
Yeah, and so much about week 0, your first game. You know this as a former head coach. You were trying to still figure your team out. As much as you might think you have the answers, you really don't. So when you go into this, in terms of mentality for a coach, what specifically are you looking for in this game? Clearly you want to win, but what are generally the things that you really need to see in the first game to feel good about your squad going forward?
You want to be validated that the kids you've as a staff that you figured out are your top kids who are your starters are indeed that, but you're also looking for that depth issue. You're looking for those young kids who maybe they can play, maybe they can't play, to come through and show some sparks here in the early going to help you with the depth. Because for both these teams, especially for Royal, depth is a problem. They've got a lot of guys going both ways, so they need these guys, and when they do step in for a series here or there, to be able to produce and come up big for them.
Today's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers. We are here in Ventura, at Ventura High School. Kent Brown, George Contreras, our producer, Anthony Placencia. The gang is back for another season, and it's nice that Ventura has the yellow numbers again.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing the black-on-black thing for a while, and it's tough, whether it's filming it, whether it's seeing it. When you're watching tape study after the game, if you're the coach, you say, hey, let's get a different color number to go with the jersey, and it will be Ventura receiving the kick. Kapler is back alongside Zach Rodriguez. We will talk about Dane Kapler. He's one of the new players added to this Ventura roster. As the kick goes to start our 2019 season, it is going to be caught by Rodriguez at the 10. A fair catch was signaled by one of the up men, so the play is dead. Rodriguez, he's probably not too happy about that. Wanted to advance it a little bit.
I don't think Coach Hardy's too happy with that either, starting at the 15. But again, rules are if anybody on the team signals for a fair catch, it's valid for everybody. So a mistake there by one of the up front guys in making that call on that particular kickoff.
For this Ventura offense, led by senior starting quarterback Carson Willis, a running back Dane Kapler. If you know that last name, is because his father's a local Southern California legend back in the day here in the area, and now the current manager for the Philadelphia Phillies, who are currently leading the Miami Marlins as we start this game. The first play, it's handed off the middle. Kapler breaks it 30, 40, past midfield at the 50. Kapler in Highlanders territory down to the 35-yard line. And we mentioned bad field position after the fair catch. That offensive line opened up a major hole, and Dane Kapler, the Malibu High School transfer, burst through the hole for a huge gain.
Right, that's what a great way to start your career at a new school. Again, Kapler's here unfortunately, because of the Malibu fires last year. His family's home burned down, so the family has moved to Ventura, and the Cougars are happy that's happened. The move, that is.
11:49 remaining in the first quarter. This time it's going to be a sweep, and it's handed off. Busting loose up to the 25-yard line, right near the first down marker, is Rodriguez. So after a huge gain on first down to start the game, another 9-yard gain to start in plus territory.
Right, and this is the thing that Coach Hardy was very, very concerned about. Ventura has a big physical offensive line with guys that weigh 250, 250, 250, 260, and 280. Where the Royal line is way, way smaller than that. So that's a big concern for the Highlanders.
Second down, 1 yard to go. Rodriguez in motion again. Back to pass is Willis. They throw a quick screen pass. It is caught, but it will be for a 3-yard loss. A great job gang tackling from this Royal defense. And that time, Jared Ducat, the defensive end, read it perfectly, was able to get the play corralled to the linebackers. And then Hamburger, Stidham, Soto made the play. Instead of 2nd and 1, it's now 3rd and 4.
A big play there by number 53 to sniff that play out and make a big play.
3rd and 4, 10:40 remaining in the first quarter here at Ventura High School. And now there's going to be a flag. It's going to be a false start. So after the 9-yard pickup on first down, a 3-yard loss on second down after the quick screen, and now a 5-yard loss. It goes from 2nd and short all the way to 3rd and 9 for the Cougars.
You mentioned for the Highlanders, number 24, Nate Hamburger on that last tackle. Coach Hardy refers to that young man as being the Swiss Army knife of Royal football. Only a sophomore, but he plays all over the field, and I'll show you have a Wildcat package for him later on.
On 3rd and 9, it's going to be a handoff off the right tackle. A huge gain for a first down, a pickup of about 18 yards. And move the sticks, nearing the red zone. It's Dane Kapler again. And you mentioned Hamburger. They nickname him Double-Double after the in-and-out double-double. And he's one of the true younger players on this Royal defense. You look at this starting lineup, it's seniors and juniors all over, except for Alonzo Gayton, the defensive tackle, and Nate Hamburger, who's starting at that Sam linebacker position.
And we'll see him at running back a little bit as well, maybe some wide receiver too. Whoa.
This time it's a bad snap. It goes low, and Willis is going to have to fall on it at the 42-yard line, a loss of 21 yards. That time a lot of motion in the backfield. Willis was not expecting the snap. It went past his feet, and that's a week 0 type of play there where it just was not clean and crisp.
Right, and then this is one of the things that Coach Hardy was talking about coming into this game for Royal, saying that he thought the big thing today would be turnovers would be a huge, which is always a problem in a week 1 game. And the other thing he said to really watch out for today is special teams, that special teams are often neglected by many teams, and that if you're not really ready there, that in game 1, those types of mistakes can really hurt you.
It is 2nd down and 31, not what you script on your first possession. Kapler gets the handoff. Kapler gets inside the 20. Now he's down inside the 15-yard line, a 16-yard pickup. And Kapler has started off this game with 3 rushes, and they've all been for significant yardage. His shortest carry so far has been about 18 yards.
Yeah, this 16-yard carry just really hurts his average on the night.
Yeah.
He's probably got around 80 yards already just on 3 carries. So he is starting the season in high fashion for the Cougars.
3rd and 2. Willis will give it to Kapler. Kapler met at the line, nothing doing, and it will now be 4th down and short. And now do you bring in the kicker or do you go for it? It looks like the offensive personnel will stay on the field. 8 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Clock continues to run at Ventura High School. And we are pleased to be here on the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star.
Okay, they've changed their mind. They brought the field goal unit in.
And Rourke Riemann, senior, he was the starting kicker last year as well.
Yep.
So he is a reliable kicker for this team.
Yep.
They want to get some points on the first possession.
So this will be good this is about 30 yards. This should be well within his range. He's a 4-year starter. He's been on the varsity kicking since he was a freshman.
30-yard attempt, snap back, hold down, and the kick is through. And Rourke Riemann gets the first points of the season here for our 2019 coverage. It was an interesting possession, but I think going forward, if you're Coach Garcia and Ventura, you feel really good about this running game.
Absolutely. I think, again, that the one play killed the drive. But I think you have to be very excited by the way your offensive line has come out and kind of dominated the line of scrimmage and ripping off big chunks of yardage. If it wasn't for that line, they wouldn't have been in that field goal position after that bad snap earlier on. So I think overall a good drive with one game 0 week mistake that was costly.
Yeah, the big 21-yard loss. Ultimately, too, you have to give credit to Royal. When they got in the red zone, that defense on 3rd and 2 stepped up.
Right.
Loss of 1.
Yeah, big penetration by
made
the
them
defensive line.
They made them think about field goal or not, because if you pick up 1.5 yards there and it's 4th and inches, you're going for it.
Sure.
Instead, let's get the field goal, let's get 3 points, and for the defense, almost an escape.
And right now we're heading into that area that Coach Hardy was talking about, the kicking game. Former Royal head coach Kevin Fly, who's been an assistant at Westlake High School the last 2 years, has come back. He's in charge of the kicking game, and he's one of the best special teams coaches in Ventura County High School football. So look for some good things in the kicking game here for the Royal Highlanders.
Riemann to kick off. It's going to be a short pooch at the 30. Fair caught by the up man, and it will be pretty good field position starting for the Royal offense. Ventura Orthopedics is proud to support the collegiate and high school athletic teams in the community. The doctors serve as team physicians for most of the high school and college sports programs in the area. Whether assisting with game injuries or cheering for players from the sidelines, the doctors at Ventura Orthopedics consider it a privilege to be a part of the team. Royal comes in, and they are led by Tanner Wolf, the junior starting quarterback. Gabe Landless, he's the guy, as Coach Hardy told me over the phone this week when I met to talk to him. So expect a lot of running offense. But they want a balance. On first down, the handoff is to Landless. He fights off first contact, will still lose 1 yard, but he was met by that big Ventura defensive line about 3 yards deep into the backfield. Was lucky to get close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, this is one of the more interesting matchups here when they have the ball, when Royal has the ball. Royal's offensive line, by and large, is relatively small. They're missing their best player, who's out for about another 3 or 4 weeks, Michael A., who is 290-pound kind of guy.
Yeah, the big left tackle.
Right now they're playing with 3 kids who are under 190 pounds in the offensive line. Now the matchup there, okay, go ahead and let's call this play first.
7:05 remaining in the first quarter. 3 wide, 2 to the short side. There will be see a lot of slot movement for this Ventura and Royal team. On second down, nothing doing. And again, you mentioned that small offensive line for Royal. They got beat again up front, and it is now going to be 3rd and 14.
Right. The matchup problem for them is that the Ventura kids are bigger than they are by and large, but it's a young and experienced group. They're very excited about their defensive Ventura this year in terms of their secondary and their linebackers. They're starting 2 juniors and 2 sophomores in the defensive line, so those kids have to really pick it up and make this a solid defensive team.
And the Tanner brothers, Texas Tanner and Chili Tanner, the whip defensive end and the defensive tackle on this team. A lot of fun names for the Tanner family. On 3rd and 14, there is a flag in the backfield. It's completed for a first down, past midfield, up to the 40, breaking down the sideline inside the 25-yard line is Hamburger, the running back. We already talked about him on defense, but that flag in the backfield, we'll see. Is it on Ventura or is it on
Royal?
Royal?
We call some holding, and yep, that's what we got.
Generally speaking, it's going to be holding in the backfield. It was still a nice play, though, by Wolf to step up, make the play, and you see Hamburger's versatility as a sophomore, being able to make the catch, get down the sideline, but all for nothing. It will now be 3rd and 24.
Again, talking with Coach Hardy about Wolf, again, a year's experience is super important for a young man like this coming into his senior year. There's a change in offense. He's become confident with it. He reads the plays well. He does not lock in on a particular receiver. He's able to spread the ball out. So he did a fine job right there just stepping up in that situation, even though it's being called back, getting rid of away from some rush and completing the ball. Showed a lot of poise on that particular play.
6:05 remaining in the first quarter. Ventura leading Royal 3-0. here on our opening Week 0 broadcast here from the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. It's now 3rd and 30 after the holding calls are properly assessed in the backfield. We already saw a 2nd and 31 go for a first down, so maybe a 3rd and 30 will on the other side. Back to pass is Wolf. Drops it off short to the 20-yard line. It's caught down the far sideline, out of bounds at the 26-yard line. I believe that was Adam Fall, and it will be time to punt for the Royal offense. That's going to be a name. If Royal's going to have success tonight, Adam Fall, the senior on the outside, is going to have to be a weapon. But this time, the defense was smart. Give him something short, go up and make the tackle, and it should set up good field position awaiting Ventura.
Yeah, they should get the ball right around midfield on this. Again, a good job by Ventura. Giving up 10, 12 yards, not a big deal there in that situation. So that was a good defensive play for them.
Punting is Jake Hemingway, the junior, who'll also do the place kicking. Zach Rodriguez catches it at the 43-yard line. So better field position upcoming for Ventura on this possession. 20 doctors with 5 locations in Ventura County, all with one goal in mind, to get you back in the game. Ventura Orthopedics specializes in sports medicine, general orthopedics, pain management, pediatric, and MRI. Ventura Orthopedics offers exceptional therapy services, featuring 26 highly skilled physical and occupational therapists. Learn more at venturaortho.com or call to schedule an appointment at 800-698-1280. 5:51 remaining in the first quarter. Ventura with a field goal on its first possession. Royal had the punt. It's Willis moving to his left, throwing it deep to Rodriguez, and it is caught at the 24-yard line. Great coverage by the safety, Nick Torres, but Rodriguez high-pointed it, made the catch, and then didn't let it strip away. Great pass by Willis.
Yeah, that was a great play all the way around. Good job underneath on the underneath guy. The number 24, Nate, for the Royal Highlanders made a nice play on that, but again, a big connection up top from 2 experienced players.
And a 33-yard pickup. That is now 4 big plays already in the first 7 minutes of this game for the Ventura offense. The Cougars led by the senior quarterback Carson Willis. It's going to be handed off to Eric Maxwell, who will get some time here at tailback after Kapler went for close to 80 yards on the first possession alone. And it's a good gain, about 6 yards. It will be 2nd and 4.
And this is the exact thing that Coach Hardy was very concerned about, that he needed his offense to control the clock, control the ball, keep the Ventura offense on the sideline. And up to this point, that's not been the case.
Ventura starting the season off at home. Royal traveling cross county. Coming from Simi Valley, there's going to be what looks to be a motion penalty, false start. And that's the second time now that we've seen a false start from the Cougars offense. And we expect that. We're generally not going to get the most crisp pre-snap in the first week of the season.
I think the only problem that he's probably, Coach Garcia's not happy with, this is an offensive line that's returning. So they're not a bunch of young kids. Those are the kind of mistakes that a veteran line should not be making, even though it is game 1.
Yeah, all 5 starters have had playing experience in their high school career so far. On second down, it remains Maxwell in at running back. They will throw it to the left side, incomplete. They went to the short side of the field, and it was Rodriguez, who's definitely been a reliable target, but the pass sailed over his head. Incomplete. It will now be 3rd down and 10. 3rd and 9.
He was very, very well covered there. So even though they had that great catch a few seconds ago, they're doing a good job in the Royal secondary of covering the receivers and making them have to make some circus catches to move the ball.
4 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 3-0. Ventura leads. The Cougars have the ball. They're going to go trick play. Back to pass. It is complete for a touchdown. Cade Ledesma throws it, and Daniel Gutierrez with the catch. 24 yards for the score. Ledesma also the backup quarterback. That time they went to the trick play, and it worked to perfection.
That's the play that they were working on the other day when I was at their practice, and it worked well against the air, and it worked pretty well in the game as well.
So Rodriguez goes in motion. They end up getting it to Ledesma, who finds Gutierrez for the 24-yard score, and now Riemann in to kick for the PAT. Snap back, hold down, the kick is through, and Ventura sharp on that possession after the 5-yard penalty. you have to like what you've seen. And this time they were able to get a little bit of a rest for Kapler with Maxwell coming in. Willis sharp, Rodriguez sharp, and then Ledesma comes in, throws it perfectly. That's a good start for this Cougars offense.
It is. And I think now you've got the Royal Highlanders are very, very off balance now. They're having trouble with play action passes. They're having trouble with the run. And if you can run the football, which is what Coach Garcia at Ventura wants to do this year, you're going to win a lot of football games if you can do that. Again, we mentioned earlier that Ventura's fallen in a couple of hard years. They've had 2 back-to-back losing seasons for the first time since 2007. But the strength of this program is they have so many coaches that have Ventura high school ties, same with the administration, that they were able to fight through this thing. And it looks like they're going to have a very good year, and they're going to be playing what's much more typical Ventura Cougar football this year.
Another short kick is going to be caught at the 29-yard line, and that was something that Coach Garcia talked about with me, is just the fact that, you look at this team, they now have a mentality that they expect to win. Mm-hmm. They haven't done it on the field the last couple of years, but these are kids that have been showing up, getting ready for this first game, and you want to make a statement in front of your home crowd, and it's a significant game clearly for both programs, especially with Coach Hardy with his first game as the head coach on the other side. But for Ventura, this is a program with a lot of rich history, a lot of teams that make the playoffs, and you now have, just looking through this roster, seniors and juniors all over the field, and they want to go out and prove themselves in 2019.
Absolutely.
It will be Tanner Wolf alongside Gabe Landless in the backfield. 4 wide. Snap is to Wolf. He's going to try short, and instead is going to be corralled by the defense. Chili Tanner in to make the stop. He's the junior for this Ventura defense, and he's 6 foot, 255 pounds. There's Texas Tanner coming from the weak side, Chili up front, and once again, a great push from this Cougar defense. That's the 3rd play now where it's been lost yardage in just a short amount of time here, 8 minutes into this game for this Ventura defense.
Yeah, the Cougar defense is just controlling the line of scrimmage right now. Even though they're young and they're experienced, they're definitely winning the battle in the trenches, on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, when the black team is out there.
Royal wants a balanced approach this season. So far, it's been a lot of pass and sack. On 2nd and 12, incomplete. That time intended for Adam Fall. That one sailed on him. That would have been tough. There were about 3 secondary guys corralling Fall, and now it's another 3rd and long upcoming for the Highlanders with 3:36 remaining in the first.
Yeah, that's one of those high hospital-type balls that you need to be careful with. He's a very good receiver, and you don't want to stretch him out like that with that many people around him.
I do like what I've seen from Wolf staying in the pocket. He stood tall on that one.
Yeah, he's poised. He's not letting the line issues affect him too much, but they've got to protect him a little bit better than they have been.
3rd and 11. Wolf's going to throw it short to Landless. The defense comes in pursuit. It will be a short gain of about 3.5 yards, but another punt upcoming for the Royal Highlanders. The defense, that time nothing in the back end. You had to drop it short. You come up and make another tackle, and it's another stop for the Ventura defense.
Again, great defense so far. I think it's been 3 and out on both series, so you can't ask much more out of your defense than that.
It'll be Zach Rodriguez back deep. Snap goes to the punter, Hemingway. Hemingway's going to get it to the 35-yard line. Rodriguez, fair caught, and it will be Ventura trying to go 3 for 3 on scoring possessions for their offense. We do want to remind you, today's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers. 2 minutes, 56 seconds remaining. The sun's starting to set. You can see the Pacific Ocean out in the distance here from Ventura High School. And for this Cougars offense, taking the field for the 3rd time, so far they've scored on both possessions. A field goal in the first, a touchdown on their second. In motion is Rodriguez. They fake it to him. The handoff's to Kapler. The same play they started the game with. and it's not quite the 20 to 50-yard gain he had on the first possession, but it's a pickup of 5 yards.
Yeah, it's a good, solid football play. Not spectacular from the fan standpoint, but a solid play that every coach would love to have.
Yeah, you go 5 yards every play, you don't get any penalties, you're going to score.
Yep, absolutely right.
2nd and 5, that tackle was from Torres coming up. They play a 4-4 system is the base defense for this Royal team. Kind of have that single safety back there in Torres where he went up for the jump ball earlier with Rodriguez and didn't get it.
Yeah, they're in man coverage right now.
Fakes the handoff. They're going to go down the sideline to Gutierrez, who just caught the touchdown. Incomplete, and that time good coverage by Chris Foster.
Yeah, did a nice job with that. One of the problems with when you're in man coverage you can run off your defensive backs if they're locked in on the receiver as they should be in that kind of coverage, which means that you lose run support people in your secondary when you do that. So that's something to keep an eye on, see how much man they play and how much pressure that's going to put on number one here at free safety to have to make a lot of open field tackles if things don't get shorn up in the front 8.
A big 3rd down here with 2:12 remaining in the first quarter for Ventura. If the Royal Highlanders can get a stop, they might get the ball back down 10. They will hand it off to Kapler. Kapler shakes off one tackle, gets close to the first down marker, appears to be about a yard short, and now it's decision time for this Ventura offense. Kapler's been great so far, but if you don't get a first down here, you're giving the ball back in plus territory for the Royal Highlanders.
It just comes down to how much faith do you have in your offensive line at this point.
Well, they're bringing in Big Chili Tanner up front.
We're going for it here.
And also coming into the game, Texas Tanner. So the Tanner brothers come in as the lead blockers in front of the quarterback. They hand it off, first down for Ventura. So on 4th and 1, they decide to go with Jaden Klein, the H-back, and that's a power formation that we hadn't seen all game. It's probably not one they're going to do unless it's short yardage. Klein he already has a Division I offer to San Diego, so he is a kid that will get touches here as the H-back. But on this play, George, they went with the power formation, and it worked.
Yeah, and again, they're taking advantage of their size against a smaller front by Royal, and I think that's something we're just going to keep seeing. They'll throw the ball and do things like they should, but you're going to see a lot of running against this smaller front.
1:05 remaining in the first quarter. Hands it off to Rodriguez from the sweep. A good job by the defense and a great tackle coming up and making the play was Curtis Lansden, the senior defensive end, 6'4", 215 pounds, and he was able to meet Rodriguez as he tried to cut upfield, and that's a really good stop on first down.
And we have a holding penalty as well, so I think they'll probably take that thing and move him back a little bit.
Yeah, altogether, probably the best run stop play that we've seen tonight from this Royal defense.
Yeah, real solid tackle by number 44 there.
Rodriguez is going to be a kid, too, in terms of this offense. You're already seeing it. Not only is he a threat to catch the ball, they'll put him all over the field, but that sweep, it makes the defense, if you're coaching a defense and there's a constant potential threat of handing the ball off to that guy on the jet sweep, what do you do in terms of talking to your linebackers and your ends to make sure that they're disciplined enough to know where that ball ends up?
Again, everybody just doesn't know what their responsibility is. And if you're number 44 down here defensive end and they're running that jet sweep look, you don't have the dive inside. You have to worry about that sweep coming to your side. So it's be disciplined, take care of your assignment, just do what your job entails you to do.
Now it's Klein in motion, back on 1st and 20. Good job by the offensive line to create time, and it is caught right near the first down marker. Making the play is going to be Trevor Kuntz, the senior wide receiver. That's a 21-yard pickup, and a good job by Carson Willis. He didn't get his first read, but he found Kuntz up there right near the marker, delivered the pass, and Kuntz comes down with a big 21-yard gain on what could be the final play of the first quarter as the clock ticks under 20 seconds remaining in the first frame.
Again, one of the big differences right now is how much time Ventura's line is giving their quarterback compared to what Royal's quarterback is getting.
It's going to be handed off to Kapler. Kapler tackled inside the 40-yard line up to the 38, and that will be the final play of the first quarter. Ventura moving into Royal territory, up 10-0, and so far in this game, George, it has been the Cougars taking advantage of their line play. Ventura Orthopedics has one goal: to get you back in the game. The doctors are well-versed in special orthopedics needs of both the amateur and professional athlete. Many of their physicians currently serve as team doctors for most of the area high schools and community colleges. 20 doctors, 26 physical therapists, all with an athlete's best health performance in mind. Learn more at VenturaOrtho.com today or call to schedule an appointment at 800-698-1280. That's 800-698-1280 or visit VenturaOrtho.com. We also want to remind you today's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers.
Got to mention the offensive line for Ventura, who's doing such a good job. Ivan Rodriguez, who's a senior, 6'1", 250. A junior, Jesse Diaz at left guard, 5'11", 250. Center is Colby Wilmeth, 5'11", 250. Let this play run.
On 2nd and 8, it's going to be Willis back to pass. He is going for an intended target in Gutierrez, who already caught a touchdown, fell short.
Again, great protection by the line. Those last two starters for the Cougars on the offensive line is right guard is Peter Castaneda, who's a senior, 6', 260. And then the right tackle is a junior, number 72, Caleb Barajas, who's 6'4", 280. So large fellas, and they are showing that all that experience that they've accumulated over the last couple seasons is really paying off this year as they enter this season.
Yeah, it's been a great start for this offensive line. And if you're going to build a team around any type of units, you want to have a veteran at quarterback, and you want to have veteran presence on your offensive and defensive line. And that is what the Cougars have heading into this 2019 season. 3rd and 8. Ball from the Highlanders' 38-yard line. It goes handed off to Eric Maxwell. Maxwell carries the load up to the 26-yard line. A pickup of 13 yards. Move the sticks. Cougars first down.
The Cougars' offensive line got him the first 4 or 5 yards, but then he broke a tackle at the second level to pick up another 6 or 7. So great run there by the team.
And we know we're going to see a lot tonight of Dane Kapler, but so far Maxwell has been involved, and he's been good. He's a 5'10" junior running back, and on the couple carries he's received, he's definitely been a nice 1-2 punch along with Kapler.
Right, he's a junior, I believe. They also have another running back, number 22, Sage Beltran, who we should see during the course of the evening. So they're very happy with their offensive backs and the versatility that they have in that group.
On first down, another trick play. Ledesma, who already threw a touchdown, gets it on the double reverse, and the defense was not fooled this time around. It is going to be a loss of about 2 yards, and it will be 2nd and 12. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. It's really just a bad defensive presence, and this time they were not fooled twice.
No, everybody there on the backside of that play, which became the play side at the end, held their ground, did a good job staying at home and diagnosing that play and make it into a 2-yard loss.
Now, is this something with you as a coach? Like, we know Ledesma is a starting receiver, but also the backup quarterback. How much emphasis goes into that when you practice against a team, telling your defense, hey, if 7 gets it, remember, he can throw the ball?
Well, it's really hard when it's your first game of the year because you haven't seen everything, and I'm sure if you looked at their scrimmage tape, here's
Maxwell, handed off the gut again, right up that A gap, a big gain of about 10, so it will now be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, big, nice open field tackle by Nick Torres, number 1, the free safety for Royal. Now, one of the problems is when you play a scrimmage, you normally do kind of a vanilla offense. You don't show a lot of stuff like this, trick plays. So it's hard in game 1 to prepare for that when you really don't know your opponents all that well. Now, game 2 next week, whoever Ventura plays, they'll be in tune to that, and whoever those coaches will be ready to coach their kids up on it. But that's one of the problems when you play game 1, or game 0 in this case, first game of the season, is you just really don't know the other team's personnel completely and what types of plays they like to run with them.
It's the beef formation again with the Tanner brothers. The handoff goes to Klein. Klein easily picks up the first down inside the 10-yard line, down to the 8, a 14-yard pickup, and have to believe that if you're this Royal defensive staff right now, you do not want to see those Tanner brothers out on the field very much, and it's looking like they'll stay on the field here on 1st and goal.
I think down here inside the 20, you're going to see this a lot tonight. It's just a matter of Ventura taking advantage of their size against the lack of size for the Highlanders.
On 1st and goal, it's going to be Klein. Klein takes it away from the gut, goes towards the left side, and scores the touchdown. An 8-yard scamper with 10:01 remaining in the second quarter. And this time, he was able to read that defense, saw everybody collapsing towards the center, and he busts outside, shows his athleticism, and scores easily.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a counter-type play. They had some pulls on the backside there going towards the left. But, again, there was no penetration. So he was able to float himself to the outside because no one was forcing things up inside. The story of the game so far has been definitely the Ventura line has just been dominating on both sides of the ball.
And that's something, if that continues, it could be a long night for the Highlanders. The snap was back. The hold was not great. And now Ledesma has to improvise. Ledesma's going to roll towards the pylon, and they're going to say he is short, out of bounds, just missing. So that time, Cade Ledesma, unable to get the hold down, has to take off. The play was at the goal line, but it fell short. And so the score goes 16-0. I guess if one thing can go right for the Highlanders, that's probably the first one we've seen.
Well, they've had two snap issues now. One on where they lost about 30 yards earlier on the drive, on the first drive of the game, and now this one. But again, those are the types of things you're going to see in game one. It's just unfortunate, but that's what happens.
Although, if you're Ledesma tonight, I think you'll trade not being able to get one hold down to get the passing touchdown on the reverse.
Sure.
So far, it's still positive for Cade tonight.
Yeah, no, he's having a good. And again, that's not his problem. He had a bad snap. It was low, and you're hoping your holder can make a play out of that thing. And he almost did.
Yeah, he was just probably about maybe 1 yard, maybe even a foot short.
And I think what looked good on that to me as a coach is when that happened, he wasn't panicked. He got up and he knew what he needed to do, and it wasn't a four-alarm fire out there.
A big possession awaits the Royal Highlanders offense, trailing 16-0. 10:01 remaining here in the second quarter. Kent Brown and George Contreras on the call from Ventura High School. It's going to be Adam Fall. Fall gets it from the 10. He's now up past the 30, past the 40, near the sideline, close to midfield. That time, no fair catch called, and Adam Fall was able to get a nice line ahead of him down the sideline, close to the 50-yard line. They're going to mark him out at the 47, but great field position for Royal when they needed a boost.
Right, and one of the things that's really unusual in high school football in our area by Ventura's always had a variety of kickoffs that they use. And there's one of the coaches on the sideline who has them lined up, sees how the opponents line up, and then he'll call out what kind of a kick he wants them to do. So that's where you're seeing some pooches and some deep kicks and what have you. It's just a matter of being versatile and disrupting any organized returns as best they can, although that time Fall did a nice job getting the ball up the field.
Do you think now, especially with the emphasis on limiting kickoffs and kick returns in terms of concussions and things going forward, do you think that's something that's just not practiced enough in the week 1 or week 0 you might have? Here on first down, it's going to be a handoff to Landless. It's about a 4-yard gain, but back to my question is that just something you have to see your team go out and execute on the field, because you're not really going live in practice much anymore with kick coverage?
Well, I don't think most teams never went live in kickoffs, to a takedown. But I think it gets back to how much time you just spend on your kicking game, period. And there's a lot of coaches that don't spend the time that they should.
On second down, it's going to be Landless again, and he was pursued and made the play. Chili Tanner, he's not just doing it as an up back on offense. He has now made 2 big plays on defense so far today with 9:12 remaining here in the second quarter. A big 3rd and 5 awaits the Highlanders.
Yeah, the Highlanders now have gone to more of a power set. They had 3 running backs in the backfield with the quarterback under center and 2 tight ends. Again, here we go, power set again, all stack eye.
Yeah, they went a lot of 3 and 4 wide in their first couple possessions, and it did not work. On 3rd and 5, Landless makes 1 guy miss, makes 2 players miss, and he is going to be about a yard short. But when you're down 16-0, you're in plus territory, you have to think the Highlanders will roll the dice here and go for 4th and 1.
I would think so at this point. You need something to get some momentum going. Now, the only problem with this look overall is it brings everybody into the line. So, again, I think it even highlights your lack of size even more.
Tristan Stricker comes into the game. Adam Fall out of the game. And now there will be a timeout called by Royal.
Okay, probably going to talk this one over a little bit. I think they should go for it here. And I could see a little play-action pass at this point off of those last 3 plays from this triple stack eye look.
Yeah, I think that that's certainly a decision that makes sense here. Your offense needs a spark. You've gone a few possessions without a score, and on the other side, you know that offense is moving the football with consistency, so I don't think you can afford to not go for this.
I think this is one of the things that Coach Hardy had said. They need to control the balls as much as they can and keep Ventura's offense on the sideline. So those things are going to come into play. If we make a first down here, at least we're going to buy our defense, Royals defense, another 3 or 4 minutes of rest on the sideline to go. And one of the problems for Royal is they have a lot of players who are going both ways. So, it's just a tough situation for them. They've got to get some of those young kids in the game and let them earn their spurs here in a tough go.
Gabe Landless, the running back, definitely the odds-on favorite to get the ball here.
I think, big, strong kid, a lot of experience.
Adam Fall back into the game now. He'll be Wolf. Looks like 3 backs lined up in the backfield. We'll hand it off to Landless. He gets pursued near the sticks, but they are going to give him the first down. He needed 1. He picked up 2. Not necessarily a great gain, but when you only need 1, good enough to move the chains.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about that look is they needed 1 yard, and he was lined up about 9 yards deep in the backfield. So,
yeah.
But he got it, so it's all good.
And coming into the game as one of the fullbacks on that play was Diego Soto, who will kind of be a guy that's utilized all over the field for this offense.
Okay,
First and 10.
Going back to a spread now, 4 wide receivers.
4 wide. Adam Fall, a big, tall receiver at the top of your screen so far with just 1 catch. On 1st and 10, it's Wolf. He's looking deep, wide open, caught at the 4, and a touchdown. Nick Torres, and that time the defense broke down. Wolf was looking for a receiver to break open. Torres was all alone. That goes for 41 yards, and now all of a sudden Royal are back in the game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what happened in the second round. I was watching the people up front. Royals offense, to their credit, their linemen did a great job pass blocking. There was plenty of time for Wolf to make his decision. So again, good credit to those kids. They bounced back and they're playing hard. Okay, now
It will be Jake Hemingway.
Okay, this is what you don't want to see in game 1. You got a guy who didn't come out.
Yeah.
A little disorganized.
And actually the kicker, it's not Hemingway, it will be Adrian Pena in the kick. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it is through. So Pena gets the PAT, and with 7:52 remaining, it's 16-7, and a significant turn of events there. Royal got great field position, were able to capitalize on a 4th and 1. The defensive breakdown allows the Highlanders with a wide open catch from Torres. And now, not quite a 1-score game, but 9 points down. You feel like, hey, guys, we're in it. It's time for the defense, though, to get a stop.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they have to do now. But it's good for them. Again, it's giving them some spirit. It's giving them some life. If they had not scored there and then give up another one, now you're down by 24, 25 points. That would have been real tough for them. So this has been a good deal for Royals team and their spirits.
Adrian Pena, the junior, with that PAT. And for Royal, this is a game where they're trying to build off of what they did to close last season.
Absolutely.
As I mentioned, they started 1-5. They finished winning 4 straight. They get to the playoffs. So they were on a high to end last season, but out of league play, they didn't get signature wins and build up the first half of the season. They want that to be a different story in 2019. Here's going to be the short kick. It's going to go up to the 18-yard line, and now it's near the sideline. It stays in bounds, and Royal comes up with the football. Did it stay in bounds for the Highlanders?
Yes.
It did, and that time a break of all breaks. It was smart to let the ball go out of bounds, but the problem is if it bounces back, you need to come up and get it, and somehow, some way, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Royal inside the Cougars' 20.
At that point, the Cougar receiver, who was right by the ball, hey, knock it out of bounds if you have to. At least it might be a penalty, but it's still your ball. And this has been tremendous. Again, as we said earlier, kicking game mistakes in game 1 like this can be a big issue. And so far, that was a huge play for Royal.
You do not see that much. Now it's a old school Maryland I formation on 1st down, a loss of 2 yards. I almost feel like if you're both these offense and defense here, you were not expecting to get the call to go back in. Now it's quickly, hey, there's a live ball, go get it type of deal. And for Royal, they were probably on the offense. You're glad handing. You're saying, okay, our defense is going to get a stop. Oh, wait, we have the ball? Okay, 1st down. Let's just go with a run and get situated again.
1st down there, that same triple stack eye. great job by Ventura penetrating the line of scrimmage and forcing that thing. Look for a play action pass here pretty soon.
They will stick with the power formation. It's fake to Landless. It's going to be at the 25-yard line. Nate Hamburger, the quarterback. So sometimes you want your starting quarterback to be out there, and Tanner Wolf, they went with Hamburger behind center that time. Fakes it to Landless, but the defense was all over.
And they did good job being disciplined on the backside of that play. And again, kind of the key there, all of a sudden you got a different guy quarterback. That number change can alert those guys on the backside that something may be up.
And that was something that Coach Aaron Hardy talked to us about going into this game, was they're going to use Hamburger in many situations, not just the tailback, but you might see him in at quarterback in power running formations.
Right, he was, Coach Hardy called him the Swiss Army knife of Highlander football. They've got all sorts of things for him to do.
Now it is 3rd and 15. Back to pass is Wolf. Fall, can't bring it in. I think it would have been short of the sticks regardless, but what this does now is eliminates a potential 4th and 6, 4th and 7.
Right.
It is now 4th and 15 from the 25.
And their field goal kicker is good from about 30 yards, and this is now be a 35-yard field goal attempt. No, about a 42-yard field goal attempt from here. So they're going to definitely go for it here, and this is not a good 4th and 15 is never a good situation.
I like that play call, the quick slant.
Oh, yeah.
You figure high percentage, you'll pick up 6 or 7. If you
Right.
make a guy miss, you might get it.
Right.
And Fall's a reliable target for a senior pass catcher.
That's very unlike him. And look for the single receiver at the top here, away from trips. He's got a lot of field work to work with.
Yeah,
and just
4
one
wide,
defender.
and on that wide side, it is one receiver. They will go short side of the field, incomplete. It was Torres on the other side. You had Fall, you had McTabb, you had Stricker down here on the bottom of your screen. Incomplete on 4th down, and with 6:19 left in the second quarter, after the huge special teams blunder, the defense holds, forces the 4 and out, and gets the ball back.
And got 5 more yards back.
Yeah.
That play, too, even if it had been complete, it was well covered. Guy was right there to make the tackle, and it would have been well short of a first down. So good defensive job by the Cougars putting out the fire of that kicking game mistake that they made.
You are watching the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star live at Larrabee Stadium. Kent Brown and George Contreras here at Ventura High School. On first down, it's going to be Ledesma in at quarterback. Fakes it to Rodriguez going in motion, and it will be a 4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6.
A little bit of a read option there where the quarterback fakes the fly sweep and reads the defensive tackle, number 77. And if he doesn't cross the center's face, he'll keep the ball himself if he gets walled off on the backside.
So no Willis here on 1st or 2nd down. It is Ledesma once again back as the quarterback. He's the junior, Cade Ledesma, 6'1", 165 pounds. 2nd and 6. Sun is setting here from beautiful Ventura, California. 3 wide. Going in motion is Jaden Klein. Ledesma will throw it down the sideline. It's complete to Gutierrez. They've already hooked up once for a touchdown on a trick play, and this time it is a big pickup. Goes for about 40 yards downfield, and Ledesma, coming in for relief for Willis, throws a strike to Gutierrez.
Carson Willis is on the sidelines here. He's sitting on the bench with his leg up. I think he may have tweaked one of his ankles or a knee perhaps. I'm not sure if he'll be coming back in anytime soon.
Yeah, we see him down here next to what looks like the stereo down there by
Yeah.
the sideline. And you want to have your starting quarterback in the whole game, but Ledesma has shown the ability, at least in relief so far, to be a pretty reliable passer. Remember when they got in short yardage last possession, they just went with that power formation, so you saw Jaden Klein get the snaps, but it is Ledesma for this drive, and we'll see if Carson Willis is able to come back in this game.
And Coach Garcia has a lot of confidence in the young man. His dad is one of the coaches on the team. Good athlete, and he's showing it here so far.
2nd down and 12. Ball is in Highlanders territory. That will go with an option pitch over to Jaden Klein. Klein will take it up past the 25-yard line, down to about the 23-yard line. So a pickup of 10, it will be 3rd and 2. A good gain on that play, and a good read by Ledesma.
Well, and again, the offensive line is just controlling things, So it's they've had a few bumps and lose a yard here, a bad snap, what have you. They are controlling the tempo of the game. And right now, this is exactly what Coach Hardy at Royal did not want to see. Their offense on the field, running the ball down the field, and just controlling the game.
And if you're Coach Tim Garcia, you want to see, especially with a backup quarterback in, you want to see your offensive line dominate.
Absolutely.
Kapler is the single back on 3rd and 2. They will hand it off to Dane Kapler. He gets the first down into the red zone, up to the 15-yard line, an 8-yard pickup, and he's nearing 100 yards now in the first half. Let's talk a little bit about Dane Kapler's backstory. He's the son of Gabe Kapler, former World Series champion with the Boston Red Sox, had a 20-year Major League Baseball career, now the manager for the Philadelphia Phillies. They had the fires in Malibu in the spring, lost their home. He relocates here to Ventura, and he has been nothing but positivity for this Ventura team in the spring and now fall camp. And it's one thing for a senior to come in with experience. It's another one to just come in, fit right in with your group, and impress the squad from the start. It's 1st and 10, 3:30 remaining in the second quarter. Klein in motion to the right side, handoff to Maxwell. Maxwell up to the 10-yard line, gets met right at the 10-yard line. A great tackle by Nate Hamburger, the sophomore linebacker. But this 1-2 punch of Kapler and Maxwell has worked out really well so far for the Cougars tonight.
Yeah, Maxwell's a little bit more of a glider, and Kapler is more of a hammer coming downhill. He explodes in the line of scrimmage, and he's going to make you pay for trying to tackle him. So that's a good 1-2 punch, different styles that complement each other. And again, Kapler, I should say, number 7, the quarterback here, is doing a good job on his reads and handing off the ball or keeping it himself. He's doing a fine job.
Cade Ledesma in for relief, the 5'11 junior quarterback. He will keep it, fakes it to Maxwell. Ledesma looking for the goal line, complete and caught for the touchdown. And that time it is a Cougar score. It will now be 22-7. And how about that strike from Ledesma? And you mentioned he's been on fire all game, and he was able to find the receiver towards the goal line and the score, and an impressive drive for the backup quarterback coming in relief for the injured Willis.
Yeah, just very, very poised. And Willis is injured. Looking at him down here on the sideline, he's got his shoe off and his ankle's been taped. He's got his leg up. He might be done for the evening.
2 minutes and 37 seconds remaining. And for Ventura, after giving up the special teams blunder, getting a stop, but then allowing a score, to be able to get the ball back and go right down and score was huge.
Yeah, that's then their defense put out the fire, and then their offense complemented that with a nice scoring drive, which again took up a lot of time, kept their defense on the sideline, gives their defense a chance to rest a little bit. And this is one of the advantages the Ventura has tonight. They have very few guys who are going both ways as compared to Royal.
And that is a big advantage, especially whenever you look at it. You have depth now on both sides. You're able to start to establish you're going to play one side, you're going to play the other. And then, of course, there's some crossover. But for sure, if you can build depth on both sides and you don't have to have everybody playing both ways, you get to the second half of these games, and it really is an advantage.
No question about that.
You are watching the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star here at Larrabee Stadium. The Cougars ahead of the Highlanders. Ventura over Royal so far, 23-7. Kent Brown and George Contreras here on the call. Kicking off will be Rourke Riemann, the senior veteran kicker. He's going to get another short one, and it is caught by the up man right near the 30-yard line again. And for Royal, with 2.5 minutes left, it's time to put that 2-minute offense to work. You practice it all offseason, you get it ready. And with Tanner Wolf, or maybe a little bit of Nate Hamburger potentially, you're going to need your quarterback to be efficient here in these final couple minutes.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could get another score here. And even a field goal would be a good thing right now for them.
23-7. As we said, over 2:37 officially left in that second quarter. Looks like it'll be a 4-wide set, so going away from that power formation that we saw to start the last drive for Royal. Tanner Wolf back from the gun.
Oh.
He throws it to a receiver who was not ready for it.
No, not at all.
Tyler McTagg he didn't get his head turned around at all. But part of the issue is if you are a receiver and you're running a route, you got to look for the football too. So I ultimately think that might fall more on McTagg than it does.
I think it does, absolutely. Especially when you're now about 10, 12 yards deep. Things should be happening about this point. Okay, I've got a quiz for you, Kent.
Okay.
You just mentioned this is Larrabee Stadium. Who is Larrabee? Do you know?
I don't quite know the history that much. I'm definitely,
I will tell you after this play.
I don't have the Ventura County history as much as somebody like you would. I'm interested in finding out who. On 2nd and 10, it's going to be quick pass outside, and that was intended again for McTabb. This time, Wolf overthrew him, and it's now 3rd and 10.
Okay,
back to the trivia.
Okay, back to the trivia. Larrabee Stadium is named after Ventura High School alumni Mike Larrabee. Graduated from Ventura High in 1952. Went on to USC, graduated from there in 1956. And in the Tokyo Olympics in 1964, I believe that was, he was a gold medal winner in the 400 meters and in the 1600 meter relay for the USA.
That's impressive. Gold medal winner. If you get a gold medal at the Olympics, you should get your name on a stadium for sure.
Absolutely. And he got 2.
3rd and 10, a huge play. Only 6 seconds have ran off the clock on this possession. It's going to be incomplete. Great coverage on the far side of the field. Ventura's defense really rose to the occasion there. And that time, pressure was coming from the defensive line. Wolf had to get rid of it. And then beautiful coverage. That was Trevor Kuntz, the safety over there, to help make that stop. And a 3 and out, only 11 seconds off the clock. And it looks like good field position upcoming for Ventura if they can just catch the special teams. We saw the kickoff earlier, so I'm not willing to just guess anymore on these plays. It's going to be fair caught by Rodriguez, caught at the 40, and this Ventura offense, which has been high-powered, you have 3 timeouts, a 16-point lead, and Cade Ledesma looked very good on that last possession. He once again will be coming in with the injury to Carson Willis. And now it's time for this Royal Highlanders defense. This would be a perfect time to force a turnover.
Yeah, but the big problem there for Royal, the thing that you don't want to see in this situation, the kind of game it's been, as you said, 3 and out, you burned up 11 seconds. You've given the ball back here at the 40-yard line with 2:20 left. Plenty of time here for them to score another touchdown before that happened. And being down, if that happens, being down 30-7 at halftime is a tough road for Royal to have to deal with in the second half.
And it wasn't that long ago. It was 16-7. Ball in the red zone, and Royal with a chance to make it a 1-score game, and instead they went 3 and out, 4 and out, turned it over, and since then it's been back to all Ventura. In motion is Gutierrez. They're going to hand it off to, I believe that's Maxwell. Yes, it is. Maxwell crosses the 50, up right at the midfield stripe, just barely by it, so it will be in plus territory again. That's a pickup of 11.5 yards. And whether it's Maxwell or Kapler, these holes have been enormous from this offensive line all game. It's been the story. We don't want to oversay it, but it's such a story where this offensive line continues to impress.
The beautiful thing that they're doing right now is that it's body on a body. If you watch the plays, you watch the offensive line, they get their body on one of the white defenders, and they stay with that guy all the way, making life for the running game a lot of fun.
The old hat on a hat. Win your battle up front, and we'll be in good shape. It's Maxwell wide open down the middle of the field. 30, 20, 10, touchdown. Eric Maxwell from 50 yards out, untouched. And that is exactly how you draw it up if you are the Ventura offensive staff. And now all of the pressure goes on this Royal offense to try to get some points here with 1:38 remaining in the second quarter. That was an efficient offensive possession. 2 plays, 61 yards, all on the ground for Maxwell.
And right now, the average yardage per play for the running game for Ventura has got to be pretty astronomical. They've had some great big plays. But as you said earlier, if you can get a hat on a hat and you can get a guy who runs a 50-yard touchdown with nobody even touching him, that's tremendous offensive line play. So the Ventura has really come out ready to play. And this experience that they've chalked up the last couple of years, and I think for them too as well, the negative experience of the last 2 years losing. Ventura High School is not used to having seasons like that.
Right.
And now these guys who had to bear the brunt of that for 2 years have now come, and now they're coming into their own as seniors and very experienced juniors, and it's showing tonight. So a great start for them this season.
At Ventura Orthopedics, they offer state-of-the-art technology to ensure their patients receive the best care available, always staying abreast of the latest developments in orthopedic medicine. Learn more at venturaortho.com today and let them help you get back in the game. 1:38 remaining in the second quarter. Really a perfect night in terms of weather here at Larrabee Stadium. Kent Brown, George Contreras on the call. 30-7. It's another kick that stays on the ground, and now will Ventura be able to potentially get one? They're saying they thought they had it. It looks like Royal comes up with it. A sigh of relief on the opposite sideline here for the Highlanders. They were able to get one earlier in the game, nearly gave one away, but they were able to survive. And now with 1:35 left in the second quarter, they get the ball back, and now it has to be time where you have to start wheeling and dealing here with just 95 seconds remaining and 2 timeouts.
You have to be careful here, too. You don't want another 3 and out and leave them with 1:20 at this point. Again, their punting game would only put the ball out around to the 50-yard line. So
yeah, last possession was a 3 and out and 11 seconds.
Yeah, so you need to be a little bit careful here on what you're doing. Running the ball is a good deal. At least keep the clock running. Again, the Ventura defensive line is just dominating up front.
Yeah, let's give a little shout out to this defense. Texas Tanner, Chili Tanner up front, Steven Zapata, and Renee Soriano. And then the linebackers, Josh Rio, Nick Lansky, Dane Kapler with a little bit of Jaden Klein. And on the back end, very efficient so far today, Michael Marin, Liam McGee, Cade Ledesma, Caden Carbum, and Trevor Kuntz, who's been a playmaker. So there's a lot of juniors and seniors that I just mentioned, but those 2 Tanner brothers up front have been both good on offense and defense here tonight. 2nd and 13, 50 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Back to pass is Wolf. Good protection. Wolf will throw deep, intended for Torres. Great coverage, one-on-one with Michael Marin, the coach's son, and a good coverage. Good offensive line play there.
Yeah, plenty of time for to throw that time.
And Torres has already proven he can separate and beat the defense, but that would have been one where if Royal completes, they're in business. Instead, it sets up a 3rd and 13.
I think right now as we're almost going into halftime here with 47 and a half seconds left, Ventura's defensive staff has to be very happy. They had one breakdown, and yes, it cost them a touchdown, but other than that one play, they have pretty much dominated this first half of football.
Yeah, good on all 3 levels so far tonight. 4 wide. Landless is a single setback. Wolf steps up into the pocket, will throw towards the sideline. Incomplete. That time, it was great coverage once again. Michael Marin over there on Torres. And we mentioned avoiding the 3 and out. That's what they have. -3 on that possession. 4th and 13. And now with 3 timeouts left, Ventura's going to get the ball back with pretty good field position here.
Right, they're going to
up 23.
Should get the ball around the 50, I would think. And the way they've been attacking, this is where you have to really be careful as a young coach. I mean, you know you're behind, but you have to also kind of get the big picture here. And whoa.
Nearly blocked the punt. They were able to get it off. It's going to be to about the 40-yard line. So the punter just had to get rid of it for Royal. That was Jake Hemingway. And now we mentioned near midfield. It's going to be 10 yards even better than that. Yep. The second best field position of the day here for either team. And this Royal defense is going to have to try to hold here. 37 seconds remaining in the second quarter. 30-7 is the score with great field position upcoming. And we know between Kapler and Maxwell, there's been enough holes up that middle that you have to feel good about the run.
Desmond's throwing is a threat too. He can run off his play action passes as well. With 3 timeouts, this is not a good situation for the Highlanders. I think right now Ventura would love to get another one in.
Maxwell back into the game as the running back. 3 wide. 37 seconds remaining in the second quarter. They go handoff to Klein. Klein breaks loose at the 40, down inside the 30-yard line, shaking and baking his way to about the 27 for a 13-yard pickup. And Jaden Klein, we mentioned, the only player in this game that currently has a Division I offer as that H-back and that will linebacker. And Jaden Klein there kind of fooled the defense. They gave it to him quickly. He was able to burst through for a big 13-yard pickup. And now a timeout called by Ventura with 28 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, and again, a good first pickup on first down, stops the clock. Before the timeout, it stops the clock with that first down. So, again, they can do anything they want right now. With 2 timeouts left, they have a lot of flexibility in their play call here. I think the other big thing here tonight, the job that the Ventura defensive secondary has done on covering receivers. Other than that one breakdown, they've been all over the Royal receivers. So, again, a great defensive effort by Ventura coming into this first game of the season.
Let's give a little love once again. You named the 5 starters for this Ventura offensive line. They're a group that, as you mentioned, embattled the last couple years, lost a bunch of games, but now they're the veterans that are back. 3 seniors, 2 juniors. Ivan Rodriguez, Jesse Diaz, Colby Wilmuth, Peter Castaneda, and Caleb Barajas. Offensive linemen don't get a lot of love from us broadcasters much naming them. Normally it's like a holding call or something bad. We want to name these guys a couple times tonight because they have been, certainly, if you're giving a star out to one individual unit tonight, it's been this Ventura offensive line led by those 5.
Remember with the offensive linemen, they play the only position in all of sports where the number one job is to protect the safety of other players. There's no other sport that does that. So these guys are, if you win or lose based on your linemen, and they're doing a great job tonight.
On 1st and 10, Ledesma rolls to his left, throws it out of bounds. Gutierrez corrals it towards the soccer corner kick area. It will be 2nd and 10 here down at Turner Field. Now, I know you mentioned Larrabee. What about Turner? Do we have any information on that?
Eric Turner was a great defensive back who played here at Ventura High School. Went to UCLA, was the number 1 draft pick of the Cleveland Browns, but unfortunately his career was cut short. He wound up getting cancer and died at the age of 32 while he was still playing the NFL. So
it's good to honor. Honor both guys in terms of Larrabee and Turner here at your home stadium.
And Turner, Eric Turner, like I say, he was just a big, physical football player. Here at high school, played running back as well as defensive back, but he was just the prototype NFL free safety who would come down and just kind of blow people up. Good player. Really a sad story that he was taken so young.
15 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Another timeout called, and it will be a big 3rd down for Ventura here on this beautiful night. Kent Brown and George Contreras, along with our producer Anthony Placencia, back for another season. I know you were back over in Italy, coaching up again there. Tell the audience a little bit about how your team did this year going over to Italy, and just kind of, you have this half the year you sort of spend here in Ventura County, and then you're over in Europe for the rest of the season.
Now I'm coaching a team in Varese, Italy, which is about 20 miles northeast of Milan. We're about 10 miles, I should say, from the Swiss border, about 15 minutes from Lake Como, and 15 minutes from Lago Maggiore. So we're in a beautiful, beautiful area. Our team went 7-3 this year. We won our first playoff game since 1988. I haven't been there since that long, but it's my 2nd year there. And so, again, we had a very, very good season. Things are looking up for the Scorpions.
That's awesome. Everyone just thinks of football in America, but it is a worldwide sport at this point. On 3rd down, it's going to be Ledesma with the quarterback keeper, and that's where it's nice to have the athlete on the field. He needed 8. He picked up about 11, and it's a 1st down, and now Ventura will call another timeout with 8 seconds remaining. It's a 30-7 lead, and what you feel good about here is you can get one play to the end zone. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, you have a reliable kicker that can come in. It would be about a 33-yard kick right now, certainly within his range.
Yeah, so this is good. This is definitely take a shot to the end zone and see what you can do. Either way, if they can get another score here of any kind, it's just another dagger into the heart of the Royal Highlanders.
Yeah, recapping scoring so far, it was 3-0 Ventura on their first possession. They built up a 10-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. It went to 16-0. Miscommunication or bad snap on the extra point led it to 16. Royal answered, made it 16-7. Then Ventura has scored the last 2 touchdowns, building the score up to 30-7, which is where we sit here with only 8 seconds remaining in the second quarter. We appreciate you watching the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star, here for our first broadcast of the 2019 season. Ledesma, next to him is Kapler. Rodriguez in motion. They will throw up a jump ball to Gutierrez. Gutierrez comes down with it. Touchdown, Cougars. And how about the throw and catch? That's the 2nd time tonight we have seen the hookup. Ledesma to Gutierrez, junior to senior, and now it is 36-7.
And a lot of props to Gutierrez, who caught that ball. He was double covered, and he was well covered and just went up and fought for the ball and got it. So everything's going right for the Cougars tonight.
How about that grab in the back corner? You couldn't throw it anywhere else that would have been better. No. Otherwise, it's probably picked.
Yeah, no, it was a great execution all the way around. And this is just a situation where I think Royal at halftime have to kind of think a little bit about their clock management issues. If they could have run the ball just a few times, they may have been able to run out the half and save themselves 2 touchdowns.
Exactly. Yeah, not just one score, but two scores potentially. Yeah. The PAT is up and through, and it is now 37-7 as Rourke Riemann adds the PAT. and this has been quite the start to the 2019 season here for the Ventura Cougars. Again, we want to remind you today's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers. There's 3 seconds remaining. If it's a short kick, maybe a fair catch. But either way, you got to think you take a knee or just run out the kick return and go to the half here with just 3 ticks left on the clock in the second quarter. It's been all Ventura. One storyline to go over again. Carson Willis left the game with an injury, remains down on the sideline. Looks like maybe a foot or an ankle, something to the leg as he is sitting on the sideline. But coming in for relief and doing an A-plus job has been Cade Ledesma, who I believe tonight now has 3 touchdown passes, including the trick play for the first touchdown.
No, considering he's the backup, he's done a tremendous job. Now, the problem for their offense in general is they've lost one of their best receivers now who's playing quarterback.
Yep.
But he's done a good job, and again, this is something that's going to bear watching here.
Another kick that lands in the field of play. Adam Fall will return it up to about the 38-yard line. He stays alive. Fall now past the 40 to the 50.
Whoa.
He tightrope down the sideline. This will be the final play of the second quarter. Fall is being tracked. 10-5, touchdown. How about that?
Wow.
Adam Fall on the final play of the second quarter gets the ball near about the 30-yard line, tight ropes. It looked like he was going out at the 38, stays alive, and goes 70 yards for the score on the final play of the quarter. We did not expect that. Special teams tonight have been all over the map.
Yeah, and I think the Ventura coaches will be very upset watching the tape of that one. There were several players there at about the 38-yard line who had a chance to hit him and just knock him out of bounds, and they all kind of whiffed on the kid. But Fall's a good athlete, and he showed it there.
Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is through by Pena, and that will take us to the half, a high-scoring affair. We have a combined 51 points in that first half. Ventura leads 37-14. You are watching the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. Welcome back to the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star at Larrabee Stadium. Kent Brown, George Contreras on the call. The Ventura Cougars leading the Royal Highlanders 37-14. A high-scoring affair, a lot of drama, special teams plays, both positive and negative, happening all over the field. But it was the big play offense, George, of this Ventura offense. We saw Kapler early. We saw Maxwell late. Ledesma came in relief for Carson Willis, who left injured. Gutierrez a couple scores. Zach Rodriguez big plays. And then Jaden Klein came in as kind of that wildcat change of pace. Everything this offense tried to do seemingly worked.
Well, to me, it's just very simple. If you can dominate the line of scrimmage, which Ventura has on both sides of the ball, you're going to win a lot of football games. And their experienced offensive linemen have come to play and played very hard. And I think the big surprise for Ventura is their defensive line, which features 2 juniors and 2 sophomores as the 4 starters. They have played extremely well as well. They have forced Royal into a lot of bad plays. The overall defense by the Cougars, especially the defensive secondary, blanketing the receivers, has really been the story of the game for me. So it's a great start for an experienced, solid, well-coached Ventura team. And it's a first game for a new coaching staff and a new system at Royal. So again, they just need to hang in there and get some few positive things to happen here in the second half. This drive will be an important one for them from confidence standpoint.
And we do want to remind you, follow us on Twitter at VCS Preps. We have our esteemed colleague Joe Curley sitting right next to us here from Larrabee Stadium. We will update you throughout the second half with a bunch of area scores as the week 0 has kicked off. And we have seen a lot of fireworks here in the early stages of the first week. August 23rd, what's the earliest you ever coached a team that took the field and played a real game when you were coaching?
Gosh, I don't think we ever, when I was coaching here in the county, we never played a game before September 1st. We've talked about this before, but when I was in high school, 1,000 years ago, our first game of the year in 1964 was September 25th. And that was with a 9-game schedule and all, but now September 25th, you're playing game 6. So this is a real change of events here.
Yeah, the schedule moves up for everybody, early high school, college, you name it. On first down, the handoff is met behind the line of scrimmage. That was something we saw a lot of in the first half, where this Ventura D-line, you mentioned 2 sophomores, Texas Tanner and Renee Soriano, and then inside, Chili Tanner and Steven Zapata. They won that battle up front again. It's 2nd and 11.
Now those 2 sophomore kids are not playing like sophomores. They're playing really, really well.
Yeah, they call their weak side DN the whip defensive end, which is Texas Tanner. And they also have a bull linebacker on the weak side as well. All 3 levels, linebackers, secondary, and D-line, have been stout for the Cougars tonight. And on second down, it was Texas Tanner again, meeting the tailback. Another loss, and it will now be 3rd and about 14.
That's the story of the game for me, is how many times you see the Royal running backs hit in the backfield, and how many times have we seen the Cougars running backs break into the secondary without being touched at all. So it's, again, a tribute to the offensive lines.
Yeah, it's been consistent on both sides for line play for Ventura tonight. 4 wide. It is Tanner Wolf, the junior quarterback. With him is Gabe Landless, who has been, relatively speaking, stymied here tonight. Great job stopping the run game. On 3rd and 14, it is another sack. The defensive line gets through. Chili Tanner makes the play. So he looks at his brother and says, whatever you're doing, I'm going to also do. Repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse. Another 3 and out, and it's time to punt. And it will be great field position upcoming again for Ventura.
This is exactly the way that you'd like to see your defense come out to start the third quarter with this kind of an effort. And again, the great field position here that they're going to get is going to be a real problem for Royal.
10-10 remaining in the third quarter. The punt is away. Rodriguez tells his team to stay off of it. It takes a Ventura hop all the way to the 19-yard line. That is going to end up being a net of about
4, maybe?
1 yard. Yeah, maybe about 2 or 3 yards when you end it in terms of what the net ended up being. But that punt does not favor this Royal Highlanders team. And now with the best field position of the night, Ventura takes the field, led by Cade Ledesma, who came in and was very strong in what he showed with 3 touchdown passes in the first half, including the 1 trick play.
This is just not the way that Royal wanted to start their season. And this situation here for Ventura is not a good one for the Royal Highlanders.
And it will be Maxwell in as the tailback. Eric Maxwell looking very good tonight. The junior running back, along with Dane Kapler, been a great 1-2 punch. In motion is Klein. They run behind Klein. Maxwell gets inside the red zone. You follow that lead blocker, follow your lineman, exactly how you draw it up, and it is a nice gain of about 13 yards, and it will be 1st and goal.
And what we mentioned a few minutes ago, the running back was clean through the second level. He was not in touch until he got to the secondary. And this is just, again, a dominating performance by Ventura's offensive line. This now looks like the old Ventura High School, the kind of football they played here for many years under Coach McEwen and Coach Stewart and Coach Garcia.
Yeah, it's one thing you can say everybody wants four wide, air raid, spread it out, but every coach deep down, if you can run the football and get first downs every time, that's the best offense you want. On 1st and goal, the handoff goes to Klein. Klein dives towards the pylon, towards the goal line, and scores. Jaden Klein gets the ball, cuts upfield, gets the touchdown, and it is now 43-14. Ventura quickly answers after the great field position start, and Jaden Klein, that's the second time tonight they've just given it to him as the up back, and he makes people miss and gets in.
Yeah, this is just a dominating performance by Ventura. There's no other way to say it. They are ready to start the season, and I'm sure they're chomping at the bit for the next game.
Klein from 5 yards out. And the kick is Riemann. On his actual attempts, he's been perfect tonight. One was a bad snap in which they nearly ran for the PAT. PAT is up and good, and it is now a 30-point lead. But for Royal, right before the half, they had a play that seemingly might have built something towards the second half for them, and then it was taken away here very quickly. But for this Royal offense, they have 14 total points, but only 7 of those came from the offense.
And after that great play, that great kickoff return by Royal to end the half, you'd like to see, as Ventura coaches love to see that they came out, their defense forced a 3-and-out, they got a bad punt, and they were able to score in 2 plays. So they maintained their dominance, and they regained control. They took away any momentum that big kickoff return may have had for Royal.
Yeah, the defense has been excellent all night. So has the offense, clearly. But for Ventura, it's been a complete team effort here with 9:22 remaining in the third quarter. Early stages of the second half at Larrabee Stadium, and it has been all black and gold.
For the Royal staff, too, this is their first game as a staff and a new group of kids, a new system. Royal fans need to be a little bit patient here. Remember last year you got off to, I think it was an 0-5 start and wound up winning a league championship.
Going to be Gabe Landless, who catches it near the sideline at about the 13-yard line, gets up to the 22. Kind of a dangerous catch, but we saw earlier in this game for Ventura, they left the ball on the sideline and it ended up staying in bounds, so maybe a heads-up play by the senior tailback.
Yeah, and then one of the problems with that, what he just did, is when you kick the ball to the sideline, what you want is for the guy to go cross country. He ran about 35 yards and gained maybe one. Just take the ball and hit upfield and get what you can at that point.
A couple score updates across the county. Santa Paula currently trailing 36-0 against San Marcos. Calabasas with a 23-0 lead over Bakersfield. And then how about this at the half? Sierra Canyon 3, Westlake 0. So a defensive effort in that game. On 1st and 10, it's another defensive play. The line comes through, a sack and a recovery from the Ventura defensive line, winning the battle of the line of scrimmage, and it's Josh Rio who comes through the pile with the football. And we've discussed line play being an A+ on both sides tonight for the Cougars. And on 1st down, Tanner Wolf had nowhere to go, fumbles the football, and recovered by the Cougars, which will once again start off inside the 20.
This is just a very dominating performance. You have to think that whatever they were ranked going into the season, they're going to be ranked a little bit higher after tonight.
Yeah, and you have to feel good for these kids that have battled through losing seasons the past couple years, and now the experience is there. It's one thing if you come into a program and you're used to winning and then you go and win this type of game. These kids, the excitement is there, and you can tell they're playing hard, all 22 starters, every guy on the field, because they feel this win, but they want to do what so many teams have done against them the last couple seasons.
Right. The other thing for Ventura, they're going to go to school Monday morning, and those kids are going to have big smiles on their faces. The whole football program, the Cougars won the game at the freshman level yesterday. They won the JV game today. So any kid who's a very Ventura Cougar football player, when they go to school on Monday, life is going to be good. They're back in business. So it's a great way to start your school year.
Now the third-team tailback gets his first carry of the game, Sage Beltran, the senior. So we've already seen Maxwell. We've seen Kapler. Beltran getting his first action tonight. He picked up 4 yards on first down. 9:07 left in the third quarter. And as you said, just they want to keep building. Then you start getting wins, and it starts building momentum. And for Royal, it's looking like, you just have to say, okay, it was week 0. We still have a lot to play for. We are the defending league champions. But you have to shore up that line play for sure. On second down, the handoff goes to Beltran. He is met in that second level by the linebacker. It's going to be a good gain, though, of about 6 yards, and will be third and short.
The problem for Royal, their problem is their lack of size up front on defense, and they're coming against a team that's huge and is experienced and is very well coached. And, again, I know the Royal people, they'll get better and better as this season goes along, and I think they may have just played one of the better teams in the county tonight.
8:30 remaining, third quarter. Kent Brown, George Contreras here on the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. A 44-14 lead. It's going to be Ledesma. He keeps it. Ledesma near the goal line. Touchdown from 10 yards out. Cade Ledesma, he's done it through the air. He's done it on trick plays, and now on the ground gets his first rushing touchdown of the season. And it's now 50 points on the board for the home team, the Ventura Cougars.
What this does, too, now in high school football, there is a mercy rule. If a team gets ahead by 35 points in the in the second half, then they go to a running clock. And it doesn't matter if Royal scores and gets it back underneath 35 points. It doesn't matter. It'll be a running clock the rest of the way, which means the only time the clock's going to stop is at the quarter, and if there's timeouts called.
PAT is up, and it is good. And for this Ventura team, I think we expected them to look really good tonight. Just talking to the coaches, seeing all the veterans that come back, but I expected this to be a pretty competitive game, and one in which it would have been interesting to see how the line play goes down. Could Royal have the speed on the outside making plays? But Ventura tonight, this just looks like a team that is solely focused on improving their team, getting better, and tonight it has been a terrific effort. And yes, you hope Carson Willis isn't dinged up enough that he misses several weeks. We'll have to see what that injury is like. But on every other aspect tonight, this is how you draw it up. It's been great.
They're very polished, and I think one of the key things that Coach Garcia had mentioned to me is that because the new players, the juniors, the sophomores that have come up from the lower levels, they've come in with an attitude of, hey, this is my year. I'm going to play too. I don't care if you are a senior. It's created great competition in practice, and when there is competition on a daily basis, this is the result. Great football teams.
Time the kickoff's going to go near the sideline, and will trickle out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. So it will be pretty good field position upcoming for the Royal defense. Also starting to see on the Ventura sideline now Jordan Tanner, junior quarterback, kind of warming up. Maybe we'll start seeing another Tanner come in. And as this game appears to be, heading towards a huge win for the Cougars. And for the Royal Highlanders, the story of their season, or at least tonight, talking to Coach Aaron Hardy, was Gabe Landless needs to be the guy. He needs to be the difference maker. And tonight, because of that defensive front for Ventura, we have not seen Gabe Landless have a whole bunch of real estate in front of him at all to make plays.
It's been hard for Royal to pick up any yardage. This defensive front is so dominant right now and so physical, reestablishing the line of scrimmage about a yard or two behind the original line of scrimmage on every play. It doesn't matter who your running back is. Those are not good nights.
Yeah, 4 wide receivers, 3 to the wide side here on the bottom of your screen. Torres, the lone receiver at the top. Landless, the single set back. They will throw a quick pass, incomplete, as it skips near the 40-yard line. Wolf's intended target that time was for Nate Hamburger, and it will be 2nd and 10 with 8:16 remaining here in the third quarter.
I'm surprised that they stopped the clock there. We are in the mercy rule situation, if I'm not mistaken, unless they've changed the rule to make it not start until the fourth quarter, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
You're
should be a running clock right now.
You would think typically in the third quarter that would be the rule. Maybe it's now a fourth quarter assessment of how they evaluate things. Same formation, 4 wide, 2nd and 10, 51-14. Ventura leads Royal. Wolf will throw it out. This time Hamburger makes the catch for a short gain. And that secondary and the linebackers have been so good in coverage all night. We've discussed the defensive line throughout this game, and for good reason. But Rio, Lansky, Kapler, Klein, Marin, McGee, Ledesma, Carbom, Kuntz, all those guys that have filled in from the linebacker and the secondaries, outside of that one mishap where a play broke down, they really have been in the passing lanes around the receivers all game.
Just about every pass has been contested, whether it's completed or not. It's been a tight window to throw into. So the Cougars are playing good defensive football.
A big 3rd and 7. Tanner Wolf, the junior quarterback, trying to move this offense and get some productivity here in the second half as they build towards next week. Wolf will take off, short of the sticks by about 4 yards. Once again, great defense by Ventura, and it was Josh Rio. He was just reading the quarterback there, the Sam backer. He did not allow Tanner Wolf to get anywhere near the sticks, and it will be another punt upcoming for the Highlanders.
Okay, one thing to check on here as we go on. Number 6, Adam Fall, who's been a great player for Royal, had the great kickoff return. He just limped off the field, so we'll see if he'll be coming back. I think in a game at this magnitude at this point, better err on the side of caution and have him be back for next week.
And now there's a timeout called by Royal. And with that, we want to remind you Ventura Orthopedics is proud to support the collegiate and high school athletic teams in the community. The doctors serve as team physicians for most of the high school and college sports programs in the area. Whether assisting with game injuries or cheering for players from the sidelines, the doctors at Ventura Orthopedics consider it a privilege to be a part of the team. We also your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers, and make sure you follow us on Twitter at VCS Preps. Not just this game, but all the games across the county. We will track those games down and give you scores throughout the night. The punt goes to about the 35-yard line. It is fair caught by Rodriguez, and Ventura takes over with exactly 8 minutes left in this third quarter. 51-14, the 37-point edge. And as this game goes on, you have to think less and less starters will be out there.
You look out there right now on the offensive huddle here for Ventura. There's a lot of new numbers in there that have not been playing. This is a class act here by the Ventura staff. They're good people here, and you don't want to get in the situation and have one of your kids who's been out of practice every day for the last 4 months be in a 51-14 game and not get into a game,
right.
Not get a chance. Because if he doesn't play in this game, when will he ever play? So
exactly.
It's important for the morale of this team, and again, that everybody here leaves this field. We got to play, I got some action, and they feel good about themselves, and it just makes your practice on Monday that much better.
Yeah, and you get to find out about kids and how they handle being at Friday Night Lights,
sure.
Being here on the big stage, whether it's a 37-point game or a 7-point game. You want to see whether they're backups, third string, fourth string, you name it. How do they perform when they're out on the field when it matters?
Well, absolutely. And again, as this happens, you're going to see moms and dads are happy up here. There's girlfriends that are happy. There's somebody's dog who's happy right now that their master's not going to come home and give them a quick kick over something like this. So this is a good coaching move. Get those guys going. And what you'd hate to see is get somebody else hurt that's a key player. You don't want to see anybody get hurt, but certainly not one of your key players when you're ahead by 36 points.
Yeah, it is.
37 points? 37 points.
Lead. And now they're going to, looks like another false start.
Okay, here's another.
They're going to wave it off. It's a timeout called by the Cougars.
Here's another thing that's a sign of a good football team. You've got a lot of your backup players are in right now, but look at the sideline. Everybody is on the field. Everybody's up on the sideline. There's not sitting back on the benches, just having a good time and big dogging it here. So that to me is a good sign of a real team bonding type thing. And again, it's great when you have starters type players rooting on their backups and encouraging them as well.
Throughout the night, make sure you follow on VCS Preps, and you'll get those scores immediately. 3rd and 10. Tanner back to pass. They invite the blitz, and then they drop it off. Perfectly timed, perfectly executed. They need a 10, and the Cougars pick up 14. And that time, they read the defense perfectly, and getting the first down on the catch was A.J. Triana, the senior running back, and he turned it upfield. Nice gain, and they're up near midfield.
And that's Triana's. Listen, our depth chart is about the fourth guy. So good to see kids like that making a great play, a nice catch.
Yeah, if we have to break the way we do this, we always come up with, we have the rosters in front of us, but then we have a depth chart of the guys that we mainly think will be on the field snap one all the way until the final whistle. Now we've gone to the point where the main rosters are going to be where I look and where you look more so than the depth charts we have to start these games. A nice gain on third down. Triana has it again on first down. This offensive line continues to block well. Pickup of 7, 2nd and 3.
I think we've got a lot of new players in the offensive line as well. I'm seeing some different numbers.
There's still,
There's still some that are in there.
Yeah, you got to think probably their last possession.
Yeah, I would think you want to get some of your other linemen in here as well.
And it's maybe part of it, too. You have a new quarterback in. You just want to get him a bit more acclimated, or at least give him that first team unit for a possession.
Yeah, again, if he's going to do a little bit of throwing, which I don't think you're going to do a lot in this situation, but at least have him well protected. And it's nice, too, for some of these young running backs, if they're going to run the ball, let them have a little bit of a plus.
Yeah, so I feel like you or I could have probably ran for a few yards tonight.
I'm not so sure I could do that. I don't believe in running anymore.
Well, maybe not 50 yards, but you could have got like a 2 or 3 yard gain with some of these holes.
Yeah,
you could have walked them.
We would have had to have about 3 heart attacks on the defensive line for me to get 3 yards. But I just cannot say enough about Ventura's offensive linemen. They're just classic textbook play here tonight. And here's a rare mistake by Ventura getting a penalty. There hasn't been a whole lot of penalties in the game.
Third time tonight, though. Actually, fourth time tonight. Well, no, they had a timeout. 3 false starts Ventura has had tonight. So that is one thing you hope to clean up going forward. They've had 3 5-yard penalties. It hasn't really cost them anything, but it's still something you want to clean up as the season goes on. It's 2nd and 8, a wide hole to the wide side of the field, and it was a good gain of about 6.5. And now it will be 3rd and 1 as the ball moves into Highlanders territory. And that's been a routine thing tonight.
As we've said all night long, no one is touching the running back until he gets deep into the secondary.
And that is where you want to be as an offense, is to get into that 2nd and 3rd level untouched. There's been big plays. The first play of the night, we saw a 50-plus yard gain by Dane Kapler, and it hasn't ceased to exist. All night we've seen large chunk plays from the running game for the Cougars. On 3rd and 1, it's about a 1.5 yard gain, so it will move the sticks. Not one of the biggest gains of the night by any means for the running game, but good enough.
By one of the Royal defenders, number 42, I believe, made that tackle, which there haven't been many. That's Diego Soto. Not many of those tackles have been made tonight at the line of scrimmage by the Royal defenders, so that's a good sign for them.
4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Kent Brown, George Contreras here from Larrabee Stadium at Ventura High School. The Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. Have been great throughout the night. Built up a 10-0 lead at the end of the first and have not looked back. Against Santa Barbara, down 30-7 midway through the 3rd quarter. So for Ventura fans tonight, good game here, and then your rival down 23 points. Certainly the fans here for the Cougars might be happy about that.
That's the perfect Cougar weekend.
Yeah.
A win for the Cougars and a loss by the Winter Bulldogs.
2:40 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 5 upcoming for the Royal Highlanders. Starting to see a lot more backups into this game on both sides. The handoff, nothing doing, a loss of 2, and it will be 3rd and 7. And that time almost looked like kind of a missed handoff, something that maybe wasn't seemingly set up.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be an outside play, but again, the Ventura defense just forced the ball back inside where it didn't want to go. So this is a very good play by even these backup kids in the defensive line for Ventura, doing a great job controlling and getting across line of scrimmage and forcing backs to go where the play is not designed.
A shade under 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. 51-14 is the lead. Adam Falls back in the game, by the way. So he limped off 2 possessions ago. He is now in on the bottom of your screen. Matched up with Liam McGee. There's a false start penalty. The play is blown dead on 3rd and 7. So it will be 5 more yards that the Royal Highlanders will have to deal with, as it will be 3rd and 12 upcoming for Royal.
I think that was Adam Fall who jumped off sides, just a little bit anxious to get something going.
Yeah, he gets back into the game and probably thought, usually when that happens, does that mean he thinks the ball's probably coming to him, right? As a receiver to jump off?
Probably. You know, it's unfortunate for a lot of receivers when they're not getting the ball. They're kind of relaxed, shall we say.
Were they the hardest position for you to coach?
We didn't talk about receivers.
The clock is running, so it does seem like that running clock now is part of the game plan here going forward. The bad snap, Tanner Wolf just has to fall on it, and so on 3rd and 12, you're trying to build something positive for Royal, and instead it's going to be a huge loss, and it's now 4th and about 18 yards, and the punt team comes in once again, and Rodriguez is going to be back to field a punt in what should be plus territory for, I believe, the 3rd time this quarter. Ventura is going to start in great territory.
The domination, I mean, how many 3-and-outs have we had in this game? It's just total domination by the defense here by Ventura's defense.
A much better punt this time around. Rodriguez catches it at the 46-yard line, and the clock stops temporarily here as we have a change of possession between the squads. 41 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. 20 doctors with 5 locations in Ventura County, all with one goal in mind: to get you back in the game. Ventura Orthopedics specializes in sports medicine, general orthopedics, pain management, pediatric, and MRI. Ventura Orthopedics offers exceptional therapy services featuring 26 highly skilled physical and occupational therapists. Learn more at venturaortho.com or call to schedule an appointment at 800-698-1280. That's 800-698-1280, or visit venturaortho.com. It is once again Jordan Tanner in at the game, and he hands it off to Sage Beltran. That's been their combination these last couple of possessions. Still seeing, looks like, we're starting to see a few different numbers on the offensive line.
Yeah, I think they have about three of their starters are still, I think they've got number 55 is coming to the ball game.
Yeah, so into the game now for Bod Mosesian into the game for the first time. And that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Ventura goes to the 4th frame, 51-14. And George, we know that it's been a line-dominated game, but how about maybe kind of a side MVP? What about Cade Ledesma stepping in tonight?
Oh, absolutely.
And every time they've been asking him to answer the bell, whether it was on a trick play or now a quarterback,
I
he had a great effort.
When you're talking about your number 2 guy coming in at quarterback like he had to do and doing the job he's done, if you have to pick one player, I'd say it's Ledesma. But I still overall, those big boys, that's really been the difference for me.
Yeah, remember like John Madden used to do on the horse trailer or whatever, he'd give the MVP, and every once in a while it would be the 5 heads of the linemen. Tonight would almost be the 4 D-line and the 5 O-line combined, but a side MVP, definitely Ledesma's been great.
Yeah, he's had a great game, but just to me, the whole thing has just been a team thing. When your starting quarterback goes down, here comes Ledesma, and he just doesn't miss a beat.
Now, do you feel, though, as a coach, I look back, the special teams play where they left the ball on the field, and ultimately Royal got it at the 18-yard line, and then the 3 false starts, the breakdown on defense. Do you almost think, as a head coach, you like seeing not a completely perfect game? Because now when you go into film study, there will be a few points on defense, offense, and special teams that you can point out and say, we have to get better, guys.
Well, and again, right now, if you don't have this massive offensive explosion, you give up 14 points on a kickoff return and on a blown secondary play. That down the line can cost you when it's a close ball game. So certainly there's stuff to build on. And I think the old rule we always had about game one was when the game's over, I always told our guys, nothing's ever as good as it seems and nothing's ever as bad as it seems. So in a game like this, Ventura High School is going to look at their film tomorrow morning, and they're going to see, oh, my God, how did we beat anybody when we did this, and this? And by the same token, Royal's going to look at that film as bad as it seems like tonight. And they're going to find a lot of positive things on an individual level, if nothing else, where they can build on and improve. So there's that perception you get when you're here live, and then there's that perception as a coach gets watching film as to what really can be improved on. But these are the things in game one that you're looking at. How can we get better from here?
On 3rd and 7, it will be an inside handoff to Beltran and a short gain of about 3 yards. So it will now be 4th and 4. And we might see the punt team, which I believe we've only seen one time all night for this Ventura team. Zach Rodriguez is the normal punter. I like how you said, nothing's as bad as it seems and nothing's as good. I need to remind myself that on the golf course. I feel like I played golf a couple times recently, and I always think it's way worse when I have the worst shot of my day, and then when I have a good one, I go, I can do that all the time, and meanwhile, I can't. So
that's the bad thing about the golf gods. They always give you that one shot that makes you want to come back and play again.
10 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4th and 5, it will be a punt for Rodriguez, and he just skies it. If this gets a good hop, it could be really nice for Ventura. Instead, it's kind of a side hop to about the 20 yard line with 10:15 remaining. Clock will continue to wind. We do have near us is Joe Curley covering this game for the Star. And how about this? It's the 20th anniversary of his first time covering high school football in Ventura County. His first game was in this stadium 20 years ago. Mr. Joe Curley, just about 5 feet from us, covering this game, the 20-year anniversary, and doing it at Larrabee Stadium. How about that?
That's a lot of years, and I'm sure he's seen a lot of football games over that time, and a lot of great athletes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So congrats to Joe, and again, he'll be putting up a lot of the scores and getting you information all night on our Twitter page at VCS Prep. So make sure to follow us there. 9.5 minutes remaining. Well, I just mentioned golf. I know here it's a big deal. How's it in Italy? Are you able to get any golf in while you're there? I know it's not big, but you have like Molinari, who's won majors and things like that. So there are some good players.
There's some good players, and we have a little golf course in Varese where we live. It's a 9-hole course, and it's a nice one. It's a very nice little place to play.
Yeah, I try to.
Obviously, the weather's a little bit of an issue for a lot of that time.
I definitely try around here. There's so many good courses, and I try to make my way to play them on Fridays before we broadcast these games. So in California, we can get away with it 12 months out of the year, which is nice. 8:55 remaining in the fourth quarter. Movement from the defensive line, and that's where the backups come in. They're not as maybe tuned in mentally as the starters are, and you saw two of them for this Ventura defense jump the gun.
Or perhaps the other way, they're so excited about being in the game. You know, they're anxious. And again, the nice thing about this situation for the coaching staffs for Ventura, you know, you get your backup kids in, and you know, there's a chance so that parents can kind of see maybe why their son is a third-string player when they make mistakes like that. So it's a good situation for everyone here on the Ventura side, getting this experience and getting some valuable experience for these young backup kids here in the game for a quarter.
8 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter, 51-14. Again, from the start, it's been all Ventura. Field goal on their first possession, touchdown on their second possession, another touchdown on their third possession, and they just were able to build up a big lead and haven't given it back at all.
There's a nice play.
Yeah, on 2nd and 5, it's a good 9-yard pickup, a nice run for Gabe Landless, who remains in the game. So they're trying to get him this work as you get up with those backup defense. And you need Landless to probably still get these touches and build some confidence, because he is going to be, if Royals offense does well this season, he'll be the focal point, the centerpiece of this offense, along with Tanner Wolf. So even though it's 51-14, you don't want injuries, you also want him to at least get some positive gains and build up something.
If he was an up-and-coming young guy, first-year player,
good point.
I could see that. But he's an experienced guy, and he's carried the load last year in the championship season, so he's got that experience. I still get back to, at this point, you just hate to see anybody get hurt of your starting guys.
On 1st and 10, Wolf still into the game. He throws the pass near the sidelines, and it is caught by Hamburger. So again, the starting offense does remain in for this Royal team as of now with just 6:55 remaining.
So the other viewpoint of that is keep these guys in, let them have some success to build on. And I can see that side of it as well. And I guess you're probably saying, too, that the chances of getting hurt against some of these second, third-string Ventura players is probably a little bit less than against their starters. But so it's a fine line you have to walk here.
4 wide, Landless remains the lone back. They'll throw it out to him. Good defense, but he makes a man miss. Now Landless turns up towards the first down marker, has it to the 44-yard line. So a good gain of 6 on 2nd and 5, and that was a good open space. A little shake and bake, gets around the defender and picks up the first down. So Landless, for really the first time tonight, with back-to-back, first downs, positive plays to build something towards next week.
Do we know who they play next week?
Check that out for you here as we go through all of our notes. Just 6 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter, so clock continues to wind down with a 37-point deficit for the Highlanders. The handoff goes in the backfield and met by a defender. Coming in and making the play for Ventura was Nathan Guerra, the senior, and he said, look, you're not getting around me this time, and was able to strike the running back in the backfield.
And that's probably the microcosm of this whole game. Back being hit in the backfield for Royal for about a 6-yard loss.
Big loss. Now 2nd and about 15 5:15 remaining in the game. Ventura well on its way to its first win of the season. Royal looking like they'll fall to 0-1. It's Wolf. Wolf takes off. Past the 50. Up past the 40. There is a flag downfield near where Adam Fall was blocking a defender, but Wolf steps out at about the 35. It looks like there's going to be a late hit.
Yep.
So there's two flags, which are looking to be two different penalties, one post play and one during the play.
Right. I think we had a clip in the middle of the field there, the first flag, which you're 20 yards away from the ball. There's no sense in throwing a block at all. And then I think we did have some kind of a late ball, dead ball penalty here on the sideline.
Yeah, and for these teams, so next week it will be Rio Mesa will be who the Highlanders play. And then we'll check Ventura's schedule in a moment. But they'll have to bounce back against Rio Mesa next week. So there's a hold on the offense, and that was down near where Adam Fall was. And then post-play, personal foul, roughing the quarterback on the sidelines. So overall, they'll assess the first penalty, and then they'll go back and assess the second, as it was post-play. It does result in a first down for Royal. Clock continues to wind. 3:50 remaining in this ball game. For Ventura, they get Santa Barbara next week.
Well, that'll be an interesting game. It's one of the old traditional Channel League games from many, many years when.
And we mentioned Santa Barbara beating Buena right now 30-7, so a team that is going to come in with a nice win as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a good ball game.
Wolf remains in at quarterback. Landless the tailback. I'll throw it out to him again. It is caught as it went over the defender. Landless now down the sideline near the 30, out to about the 23-yard line. So a 6-yard pickup, maybe about a 5 yards when they mark it off. But it looks like second and medium.
I'm very impressed by the secondary again of Ventura, getting off blocks in the secondary and coming up. Now, the young man missed his tackle, but he did a good job of getting off the block and getting in position to make a tackle. And for these young defenders that are in right now for Ventura, these are good overall positive signs, things to build on.
Yeah, the backups have been very good along with the starters, for sure, in terms of it's just been a complete team effort all around for Ventura tonight. But it's nice, as you said, to see the other team starters remain in and your backups are making the plays in open space.
Well, they're making Royal work for their yardage right now. They're not giving up big plays. They are.
Here's Wolf back to pass. He will throw it towards the back of the end zone. Incomplete. That was good coverage once again. The ball was put in a pretty good spot.
It was a nice throw.
But unable to bring it down. And now the receiver limping off, or at least limping towards the huddle again. No, it'll come off. And it was a well-thrown ball by Wolf.
And again, the clock continues to run here in a mercy rule situation here in the fourth quarter. So we're down to about 2 minutes left in the game.
2 minutes in our season opening broadcast here from the Ventura County Star, Ventura Orthopedics game of the week. It's great having you back in the fold this fall again. Joe Curley with his 20-year anniversary here at Larrabee Stadium, about to head down towards the field. Follow us on BCS Preps. Kent Brown and George Contreras here for the call of what will be one of many this fall here in Ventura County. Also want to give another shout out to our producer Anthony Placencia for setting the whole broadcast up and bringing this to you with the camera, the equipment, you name it. He's on top of it here. And the whole team back, and with a minute 20 left, it's a game where we're going to have a lot of competitive games this year. We're going to have some games like this. But I think when you grade this first night, it's been an A or an A+ all around for the Cougars.
Not much going wrong for them. Really concerned there. Wolf took a pretty good shot there on that last pass. But he's still in there.
Yeah, 1 minute left. It's now 4th and 4. Could be the final offensive play of the game for the Highlanders. It is going to be, as it was a 2-yard completion short of the sticks, a turnover on downs, and with 45 seconds left, the Cougars probably won't even need to run a play. This might be all that's done in this game as the clock now goes under 35 seconds remaining.
Yeah, with the change, they have not even been set yet, so they're probably just going to just stay on the sideline. There's no need to even go out there.
Yeah, it looks like this will be the final play of the game, and with that, you will have a final score. The Ventura Cougars 51, the Royal Highlanders 14. A dominant effort from the home team, winning their first game of the season. And it was a great effort. Got off to the early lead, closed strong. And George, just to recap this game, maybe 1 or 2 points for Royal to build off of. Because again, you lose this game, but there's a long season ahead. You're defending league champions. What do you take from this game and try to build off of going forward?
Well, you're going to have to look at that film to get some positives. Right now, there really wasn't a whole lot of positives for them.
I think Wolf's presence. He held in there.
Yeah, Wolf took a lot of shots, and he's a heady guy. They've got some serious guys. I think the biggest thing you take away from this thing as a coaching staff is we played a really good team tonight. Ventura is not a run-of-the-mill team, I don't believe, from what they showed.
I agree.
So you've come in a situation where you're a new coaching staff, a lot of new faces playing for Royal. You just have to be positive with them and just know it's a long season. And I'd say harken back to last year. The 0-5 start and things wound up going well. So it's a matter for them of just finding those positives that they're going to see on film, building on that, and just keeping their heads up as best they can, because this is not the way that anybody wanted to start their season or their coaching career as a head coach for Coach Hardy.
Yeah, and Aaron Hardy said to me a few days ago, whenever I got to speak to him before this game, he did say the one reason why we were so strong in the Canyon League last year was because of the tough teams we played. He goes, you look at the 5 or 6 teams we played before we got in league play, they were as good as it gets. And I think he'll use that same thing this time. Hey, guys, we played one of the best teams in the county. Let's build off of that and get ready. This is not going to be a weekly thing for us. On the Ventura side, though, I just think you just have to tip your hat to the line play and say, guys, we do this for the next 10 weeks, we're going to be competing for something.
Yeah, they're going to be hard to beat if they can dominate like that up front. Again, what I said earlier in the broadcast, for Royal, it's not nothing's ever as good as it seems. Nothing's ever as bad as it seems. There's going to find some good positive things here, and they will go on.
I want to thank you for watching our broadcast tonight. That will do it here at Larrabee Stadium. Thanking Anthony Placencia, our producer, George Contreras, and myself, Kent Brown, signing off from Ventura. The Cougars 51, the Royal Highlanders 14.